Hello Yu-Gi-Oh players and welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! In Business Casual. I'm your host, the RJB0. Today, we are doing part 4 of 6 of the Finding Your Ideal Deck type video series. I'm going to be talking about combo dependency today. I didn't want to do this until the very end, but it's become clear through a couple of the discussions I have been having both on YouTube and on Facebook that I need to clarify some of the things that I've been saying about combo style, combo-dependent decks. Now, a pretty common view of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that combo is one of the primary strategies of Yu-Gi-Oh! That one possible Yu-Gi-Oh! Triangle that they look at is the aggro control combo triangle. Now, I personally think that this is a lazy way of looking at the game because, of course, some decks are very combo dependent, but to some degree, every deck is a combo deck. Every deck has combos in it and depends on combos to some extent. And just to go that inch and say that a deck is a combo deck is ignoring the question, well, what does that combo seek to accomplish? What does that combo do for the deck? Does that combo create an OTK or spam field presence? Does it remove cards from your opponent's field or limit the game in some way? Or does it create a lockdown that your opponent will have difficulties getting around? That is the true definition of a deck's win condition or strategy, not just whether or not it uses combos or not. But I do recognize, and as I said in the first video, the Finding Your Ideal Deck type video, one of the factors of your ideal deck type is how heavily combo dependent your ideal deck is. So before we can actually get into talking about combo dependency and how that changes a deck, and how that factors into your ideal deck type, your individual fingerprint, we have to define what a combo is. So the simple definition to a combo is an interaction between two or more cards. Now that seems like it's good enough, except for the fact that you realize that the entire game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is based on the interaction of two or more cards. So in my opinion, you have to look at what are some of the attributes of actually powerful combos, things that people widely consider to be combos. And what I find, the pattern that I find when talking about what a combo is that a combo is not just any interaction between two or more cards. It's an interaction between two or more cards that adds up to something greater than the sum of its parts. Now, to figure out what that means, we can take an example. Take the famously combo-dependent deck Windups. Windups were probably the most combo-dependent competitive deck of the game, possibly with the exception of Infernities. But Windups had some pretty famous combos that went with them, the most infamous of which being the Magician-Shark combo. So we can actually look at the Magician-Shark combo and see how the combo adds up to something greater than the sum of its parts. So the parts of the Shark-Magician combo are, of course, Wind-Up Shark and Wind-Up Magician. Now, Wind-Up Shark and Wind-Up Magician on their own are very good cards. Wind-Up Shark can special itself from the hand and can make it basically any level it wants to be. And Magician can special summon a card from the deck for 0 cost. Now, on their own, that seems very good. But then you put the two together and you get this explosion of cards. It isn't just you summon 2 monsters from your hand and 1 monster from your deck. You end up with a combo that in some instances ended with your opponent not being able to make any plays next turn, or your opponent losing every card in their hand, or your opponent running out of life points that turn. It could turn into an OTK. So the basis of that combo were 2 cards with individually pretty good effects. But what came together at the end, because you put those 2 cards together, was something spectacular. And that's what a combo is. It is an interaction of 2 cards that on their own they don't even have to be that great. They can be okay cards that turn into something good. So having that definition of what a combo is actually shifts around the common idea of what really combo-dependent decks are. Of course, notoriously combo-dependent decks, Hieratics, Infernities, windups. Those are all things that stay very combo-based. You can see that they require an interaction of cards to create a bigger win condition. Mermails stay as a moderately combo-heavy deck. While they do have a lot of different pieces that interact together in order to make plays, they don't always add up to something greater than just the two effects of those monsters. If they really get rolling, if they get their Abyss Teus plays in, if they get their Abyss Megalo searches through Dragoons and things like that, then yes, they do produce a lot of combos, but they don't necessarily rely entirely on combos. Using this definition, Fire Fist, both 3.5 and 4 axis, become very combo-heavy decks, because a single tanky, through the use of combos, becomes more than just a tanky. It becomes a tanky which goes into a bear, which, because it's interacting with that tanky, becomes more than just a bear. And you can say that is also true of something like Coach Wolfbark, Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Dragon. All of these cards in the Brotherhood of the Fire Fist deck interact with another card to create something bigger than just those two cards. A deck that seems to be on its face very combo heavy, but then turns out by this particular definition not to be as combo heavy, although it is very combo reliant. It's probably about in the midway point, is Spellbooks. Spellbooks run through a lot of cards in a turn, but that's because they use one card that creates another card that creates another card. It isn't the interaction between those cards necessarily that makes the play. It's the ability to extract those cards from your deck. While the end result can produce a Spellbook Tower, which creates more advantage and creates more of a controlled atmosphere, or a Spellbook of Fate, which is greater than the sum of just searching one Spellbook of Fate out by a Spellbook of Secrets, the deck itself is not as heavily combo reliant by the definition of combos that we've been using as previously people considered it to be. One deck that suddenly becomes very combo reliant is Dark World. Basically, every Dark World card, or card that is used in the Dark World deck, is combined with another card in the deck to make something greater than the sum of its parts. Take just Dark World Dealings and Snow, which combine to put, a Gates of the Dark World on the board and give you extra draw powers just through one draw and one discard effect that can give you a search. And then it can put Grappa on the board, put your biggest beater on the board at a plus. Just tons of things that come from the interaction of just those two cards. And then, of course, there will always be relatively card-based decks, things like Dino Rabbit, Evil Swarms, Chain Beat, things like this, that don't necessarily rely on combos a whole lot, but to an extent every deck is combo reliant, and to an extent every card can every deck can survive without combos. There is one possible exception that I would consider, which is Infernities, which are they are at the highest end of combo dependency. But understanding how much you like to have combos play out in your deck, whether you like it to be high on diversity of combos like a wind-up deck, or a plant synchro deck, or a junk doppel deck, or whether you like to have your cards act independently in a deck such as Chain Beat, or Light Swarms, or Chaos Dragons. These are examples of decks that sit in particular points of the combo dependency spectrum. So I hope you guys can find the combo dependency that you find ideal for your best deck type, and I hope you guys like this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. If you didn't, let me know why in the comment section below. And then, of course, subscribe for more decks discussion, analysis, and general Yu-Gi-Oh! Shenanigans. Meanwhile, thank you guys for watching Yu-Gi-Oh! and Business Casual. I'm your host, the RJB0, and I got a jet. See you guys.